So communications and outreach, this is obviously absolutely critical. We need to spread the word about what the requirements are, what the policies, procedures, and guidance are, and we need to reach all of those people, our investigators, the administrators who support them, our deans, our chairs, our COI office, our export controls office. We're all in this together, and so we need to all have an understanding of the breadth of what's required of us. So one thing that we've chosen to do, and I'm sure many of you have chosen to do as well, is targeted outreach by email. So I talked earlier about that update to our disclosure of other support policy, where we included language from the NDAA section 223, and we included a specific reference to that in the policy document. So when we made that policy update, we sent an email to every single federal investigator on an award or a proposal to ensure that they knew about that policy update and what that section 223 was obligating them to do. We wanted to make sure to get that in their email inboxes so they had a chance to read it and understand it. Another thing that we've done is, our outside activity reporting system gives people an opportunity to disclose that they have a relationship with a foreign entity. So whenever we have someone say, yes, I have a relationship with a foreign entity, we send out an email to those individuals. And the content of this email was developed by multiple offices in our institution. And we remind people, okay, you've disclosed this relationship, you need to make sure that you disclose X in this form, Y in this form. So we wanted to give a sense to people of the breadth of their responsibilities because they have disclosed this particular type of relationship. We've had lots of discussions and training sessions, and I know I've heard my colleagues talk about town halls that they've hosted with their investigators and administrators. We make web resources available, of course. Our web pages are static, but also the beauty of web pages is that they're easily adjusted when we need to make revisions and when things change. So we have what we call an other support information page. And so the bulk of it is a lot of information that applies generally to current and pending support and other support disclosures. But we also have a section on there that we devote to our major federal sponsors, because we want people to not just get a general sense of what those disclosures are all about, but what individual agencies are asking people to do. So I've talked a couple of times about how this is a shared responsibility, a shared endeavor. So this example is from the George Washington University. And the George Washington University refers folks to their librarians for help with preparing NSF formats with the use of Science CV. So we know, George Washington University knows, that their librarians are great friends to them and that they're the ones who are experts in ORCID and in Science CV. So you can go to this website on the George Washington University homepage or sponsored projects page and request to meet with a librarian who will help walk you through how to use Science CV to prepare those NSF formats. So next slide, please. Here's an example from Penn State. Now, Penn State has a sponsors or other and current and pending support page. They include information from specific sponsors, but and I'll show you on the next slide what that NIH section looks like. The bottom row of this particular slide shows that they have a section specifically on other support and conflicts of interest. Now, what they say when they open up, if you open up this section, is that the disclosures for other support and current and pending support, and the disclosures for conflicts of interest or outside activities are completely separate processes for Penn State. They are too at our institution, and I'm sure they are at yours as well. So we need to remind investigators, just because you've disclosed something in one place, that it's not a one and done. You may need to disclose information in more than one place in more than one document. So this is that NIH section on the Penn State page. And NIH has done a tremendous job of making a lot of information available about their other current and pending support documents. And what Penn State has tried to do here is make the information, they've connected to the source documents. They have links to guide notices, but they've also tried to make it a little bit more digestible. So they've divided this up into sections: who must disclose, what to disclose, when to disclose. So this is all in an effort to help their investigators and their administrators understand easily what their obligations are.